Hello everyone, this is Professor DK and welcome to another episode of the Simple Timetable App series. So in the last video we completed the subject's activity, and if you haven't watched that, make sure you watch that and then come back to this video, because since the first video we have been following a particular coding scheme, and with layout as well we have followed the same format so that it looks uniform in all the different layouts. So in the first layout you had this card view with all the different data, and similarly you had the timetable layout, and we used the card view to display information based on the different functionality. That's all. So the card view remains the same. So in today's video as well, so for the faculty we'll have the same layout, except that we'll have a few changes. So at the top, instead of the letter image view, we'll be having a circular image view. Okay, so instead of letters we'll be displaying the pic of the faculty, and at the bottom you'll have the card views which will display different information, and you can have as much information as you want, but I'll be showing you 3 different types of information which you can enter. And at the top, so this will look like it is enclosed within the toolbar. Alright, so this is the final look of it. So this is what we'll be working towards. Alright, so let's begin with the app. Alright, so the first thing, as I told you, we'll need to add the dependency for the circular image view. If you have any other tabs open, you can go ahead and close all of them. We'll need only the main activity. So go over to build.gradle file, and here you'll need to add a dependency. Alright, so this dependency I've pasted it in the description below, so you can just go ahead and copy this and paste it here, and this will basically import all the packages required for the circular image view. Alright, so click on sync now. So when my Gradle build runs, you can see that I'm on the latest version of Android Studio, and if some of you are on the latest version, you will see that it says the different configurations here, like compile, Android test compile, all of this will be deprecated by the end of the year, so you'll need to move on to a different syntax. So I guess some of you know about this. So anyways guys, we'll not be going into that because that is not the point of this video, but at the end of the series I'll make all those changes so that you can move on to the next generation of Android coding which everyone is looking at. So all the coding here will basically change to implementation. So compile will become implementation. The functionality wise it's both the same guys, so there's no change on that, but the syntax has changed, so you'll need to move on to that, because after the end of this year, so whatever code you've written now will no longer be compatible, right? So you'll need to move on to that. Alright, so we'll be doing that at the end of the series, so not right now. Okay, so the Gradle build has successfully finished. Now we can go over to main activity.java, and here, as you know, the first thing that we do is, for each of the cases we add in the activity. So before we add the intent, we need to create the activity for the faculty. So click on your package name and right click it, click on new, create a new activity, empty activity. Let's call this as faculty activity. So you'll notice that the layout name will be activity_faculty, and click on finish. Okay, so we have the new activity, so we'll open up the layout for that. And as I mentioned, since we are following the same layout scheme for all of the different activities, we'll be following the same for this too. So activity faculty.xml. So I'm going to choose a lower version because I do not have the latest package of Android. I think some of you also face this error where you say that you do not see the UI. So that is because you do not have the latest package of Android. So if you need that, you can go over to SDK, and then you can download that as well. So SDK manager, you can download the packages. Alright, so that is how you do that. So we have the empty layout here. So what happens when you click on faculty, right? It should display the different names of the faculties, and all of that will be displayed in a card view, but which is inside a list view. So this is similar to what we have been doing previously. So you can just go over to activity week maybe. So here we have implemented the same, so you can just go ahead and copy the same thing. So just Control A, Control C, go over to activity faculty, under text tab just click on Control A, Control V. Alright, so here you only need to change the IDs. So instead of toolbar week, we'll call it toolbar faculty, and here the list view will be called LV faculty. And also make sure that layout below you need to enter toolbar faculty, alright, or else it might throw an error. Okay, so you have toolbar faculty, everything is ready. You can go ahead and check the design. So here you can see that we have the list view, okay, and it's below the toolbar just as we wanted it to be. Okay, so this is activity faculty, and the next thing that we always do is for each of these list view items we create a single item, right? So we'll do the same. Go ahead and create a layout resource file, and we'll call it faculty underscore single item, single underscore item. Click on OK. So we have this. So here we'll need to add the card view. Alright, so this will be similar to again activity week single item. So you can go ahead and do a Control A, Control C, activity week, faculty single item. Go over to the text tab, Control A, Control V. Alright, so here instead of IV letter, so I'm gonna call it IV letter faculty maybe. Okay, and here instead of days, I'm gonna change the text to faculty, and also instead of TV main, I'm gonna call this as TV faculty maybe, TV faculty name. Alright, and to the right of, so if you have anything which relates to the previous ID, so make sure you change that as well. So instead of IV letter, so it is IV letter faculty. So add in all the changes. I'm telling this because you may not be seeing the same stuff, so you might have some different layout arrangement. So make sure if it is referencing the other IDs, so just change it there as well. Okay, and after that you need to check if the design is proper. So in case you're seeing any misalignment and all that, then mostly you have gone wrong in assigning the IDs. Okay, so basically you'll have the faculty's name, the first letter of the faculty's name here, and the faculty's entire name displayed. So that will be the start to the faculty activity, and when you click on that, we'll be seeing whatever I explained previously. Alright, so this is how it will be, and we can go over to main activity now and add the reference to this activity. So just go ahead and copy the 2 lines of intent here. I'm gonna paste it, and instead of subject activity, it's gonna be faculty activity. Okay, so I've done that. So now we can go ahead and close main activity.java, and you can go ahead and close the layouts as well. Okay, so we'll close the Gradle file. Okay, so under faculty activity.java, so you'll need to define the elements that you just added. So firstly we have added the list view, right? So the list view, and in case it's not imported, you can just import the package by clicking on Alt Enter, and after that we have defined the toolbar. So toolbar, so guys, some of you are still doing this error. So whenever you import the toolbar, you need to you notice that there are 2 different types of toolbars actually. So one is the normal toolbar android.widget, and another is the latest version, which is android.support.version7.widget. Okay, I mean, you can choose any one of them, it won't matter, but then make sure that if you have chosen this toolbar, when you assign it with the ID using find view by ID, then you need to cast it with the same toolbar version, right? Okay, so make sure you take care of that. So I'll just choose android.support.version7.widget and toolbar. Okay, so we need to reference it with the XML IDs. So for that we can just create a setup. So we can just go over to week activity. So I'm just gonna copy some of the stuff here. So I'm just gonna copy the two functions, setup UI views and the init toolbar. Copy that, go over to faculty activity. You can just paste it after the on create and click on OK. So here you'll get some errors because you're not defined some stuff. So under toolbar, the first thing that you need to do is change the ID from toolbar week to toolbar faculty. Guys, in case you don't change this, you'll get an error saying that you cannot reference a null activity. Alright, so that is an error corresponding to IDs. So make note of that. And then you have LV faculty, and here there is the shared preferences, right? We'll need to add that as well. And instead of my day, I'm gonna call it as maybe my faculty. Guys, so basically the name that you enter here is the name of the shared preference file. So in the previous activity, I guess we had created so in the week activity, the shared preference file was my day, and here it's my faculty. So you can just give it any name. It's just the name of the offline file that is saved in your phone. Alright, so at the top just go ahead and add the shared preferences. Alright, so the error should go. Okay, and you just need to add references to this function in the on create. Setup UI views first and then the init toolbar. The ordering is necessary or else it will fail, because if you call the toolbar without assigning it, obviously it's going to throw an error again. Alright, hope you understand that. And the next thing is you need to apply the functionality on the list view, right? So again, you can just go over to the setup list view function. So go ahead and copy this function. So I'm just going to copy it until the end of the function, and I'm going to paste it after the init toolbar. Okay, so here under setup list view, so as you can see, it first thing that it does is it gets the different days of the week, right, in that activity. So here we need to get the different names of the faculty. So we have not created that array, so go ahead and create it. So under values and strings, we can create the faculty names. So I'm just going to go at the end, and here I'm just going to copy the string array, and instead of titles, call it as faculty name maybe. Alright, and I'm going to add in some names. Okay, so I'm just going to call it faculty1. I don't know, I don't want to spend time in thinking of names maybe. Okay, faculty1, faculty2. Okay guys, so I've added 4 faculty names. You can add as many names as you want, but you need to remember the size of it. I'll explain to you in a while, because now it won't make sense, so it'll be too early to explain that. Okay, so just remember that I've added 4 faculty names here, and you can go over and reference that here. So instead of r.array.week, it is faculty name. Okay, and instead of string array week, we'll call this variable as faculty underscore names. Make sure you name it well, so that people who read your code, it will be easier to understand. Okay, and here we have used the week adapter. So instead of week adapter, we'll call it as faculty adapter. So we'll need to import the adapter as well. So go over to week activity, you can copy the entire adapter, and you can copy this and paste it here after the setup list view. So here you'll need to make some changes. So instead of week adapter, we'll call it faculty adapter, and change the name of the constructor to faculty adapter as well. And here you can see that it shows weak activity.weak adapter, because this if you go to weak activity.java, so here you can see that it only shows the view holder and all that. But then when you pasted it here, you can see that Android Studio just automatically gave the reference to the weak adapter in that activity. So these are the lines of code that Android Studio actually added by itself. Now this can be a good thing as well as a bad thing. So if you are just copy pasting for new functionality, then this is obviously a bad thing. But then if you are actually using that, then yeah, it's a good thing. Alright, so here you need to just remove this, and here at the top as well. So instead of all that, you just need to add the view holder. Okay, and again just remove the extra lines of code. If you do not know what the different changes were, you can just go to weak activity and check on what the different lines of code was. You can actually check what lines of code were added by Android Studio. Alright, so everything else is pretty much the same, except that here you'll have to change the string array week to faculty, and this dot faculty instead of this dot week. Alright, everything else will remain the same, and you need to provide the IDs that you provided in the single item, because here, as you know, we'll be inflating the layout, which is the faculty week single item. So this basically is used to reference to the items inside the faculty underscore single item. So that is letter faculty, and instead of TV main, it is TV faculty name. Alright, so just add in that, and so instead of so here at the bottom inside the view holder, instead of TV week, we'll call it as TV faculty, and wherever you see red, so there you need to change it to TV faculty. So, and here you can see that we have changed the string array to faculty, so you need to change it here as well. So faculty with array position. Okay, so we have done all the changes, and you just need to now add in this adapter instead of the weak adapter. So faculty adapter, and here we need to do new faculty adapter, and instead of week we provide faculty names. So here no errors now, and we can change the stuff here. So I'm just going to expand this. Okay, so instead of week activity, as you know, so we'll be loading up another activity which will maybe we can call it as faculty detail. Okay, so faculty detail is nothing but this. It will give you more details about the faculty. So we'll need to create that. So before we make any changes here, let's go ahead and quickly create that activity. So new activity, empty activity, call it as faculty details, and click on finish. So here, as you know, it will create a resource file. You can go ahead and suppress all the warnings here, and here the layout is activity underscore faculty underscore details. So okay, now as I mentioned, so it will look something like this. So this is a slightly different layout than other activities, so we'll need to design this layout from scratch. So firstly, we'll need to change the constraint layout to relative layout. So I'm going to remove the entire thing and call it relative layout. And next thing that we need to do is add in the toolbar. So you can go to any of the other activities and just grab in the toolbar. So I'm just going to go to faculty single item, maybe, sorry, not single items. You can go to any of the other activities and just copy the toolbar part of it. So I'm going to copy the toolbar, and I'm going to add it. Okay, paste it here, and instead of toolbar subject we'll call it as toolbar faculty details. Okay, and next thing that we need to do is, so as you can see here, we have this as a separate layout and this is a separate layout at the bottom. So we'll embed this in one layout and we'll embed this in another layout. So for that we can use nested layouts, right? So you can create another relative layout within the relative layout. So this will be match parent and the height will be wrap content. All right. So inside this we need to add the circular image view. So call circular image view, and the height and width of this, so you can add in any height and width that you want, but I'm just gonna go with 120 dp and 120 dp. I guess that'll look good enough. So you can actually check the layout here. So before that you need to make sure that this layout is below. So layout underscore below, and you need to give the ID of that toolbar. So toolbar faculty details. Okay, and now you can actually check it out. So it will be below that. Okay, and you actually cannot see the circular image view because you're not given it any source. So we're going to give it a default source in case there is no image which is available. So I'm just going to add a default source. So let me see what images that we have which I can use. So in the drawable you can give it anything. So I'm going to give it a default picture maybe. So I'm just going to create a new image asset, and I don't know which image to choose. I'm just going to go with default Android maybe. So I'm going to go to launcher icons legacy only, and I'm going to choose a default Android image maybe. So for now I'm just going to use this and click on finish. So it will be available under bitmap. So under IC launcher I have this. So instead of add drawable, I'm gonna give it bitmap IC launcher, and that Android logo will be seen. You can actually go over to the layout and check it out. So I'm gonna enlarge it here. Okay, so if you actually look here, so this is somewhat it has some distance with the toolbar and it's not stuck with the toolbar. So we'll need to provide the margin top. So go over to circular image view and we'll provide the margin top here. So just type margin top and you'll see autocomplete here. So I'm gonna maybe give it as 30 dp maybe. Okay, and if you check the design, now it's slightly below, and at the bottom I'm gonna give it as, so type in margin bottom, and I'm gonna give it as 10 dp maybe. Okay, so that will give that space at the bottom. So now I need to move this at the center, right? So it should be at the center. So just add in layout underscore center horizontal, and you need to set it as true. So now if you check the design, it's at the center. And the next thing that we need to do is add in a text view at the bottom of this. So go ahead and add the text view. Width will be same as this, right? The circular image view. So we'll just add in 120 dp, and the height will be wrap content. Okay, and if you need to see it, you need to add a text. So I'm gonna add the text and faculty name, and I'm gonna go to design, and as you can see it is not showing under that. That's because we have not added the layout below. So add in layout below, and here you need to provide the ID of the circular image view. So we have not assigned it an ID, so give it an ID. So ID will be IV faculty. Okay, we'll call it as IV faculty, and here you need to provide the same ID as well. So IV faculty, So now you should see it at the bottom of this, but it's not at the center, right? You can see, guys, there are two ways to building a layout. So some of you criticize me for showing you how to do it from this end, which is easier obviously, because the title of my video says simple, so that's why I use it here, so that it'll be easier for you, because most of my videos are to help beginners learn and become advanced. So but if you actually like to have more control over the design, then this is where you should be actually doing all the stuff. You should learn how to design layouts from this text tab itself. So that is one thing that you should know if you go to advanced UI design and all that. Now I want this faculty name to be at the center, so I just need to again add in layout center horizontal equal to true, and it will be at the center. Okay, and we need to add in some space at the bottom here. As you can see here, we need that space, so it'll look good. So I'm gonna add in that margin bottom, so copy this, paste it here, and instead of 10 I'm gonna add in 20 maybe, so I get that space. And since we want to make sure that this looks as if it is enclosed within the toolbar, so we need to provide the same color as the toolbar. So just go ahead and add in the color of which is inside the toolbar. So Android background, you need to copy the Android background, and then you need to paste it inside the nested relative layout, because you want it to apply to the entire thing, right? So here, as you can see, now entire thing is enclosed within the it looks like as if it is enclosed within the toolbar. All right, so this is how we do that. And next we need to add in the card views. So the card views, you can just go ahead and add in the card view from activity subject detail single item. So here we have added this, right? So it will be similar to that. So I'm just gonna go over and copy this card view, and I'm gonna paste it inside the activity faculty. So here I'm gonna paste it, and you can see it under design. So you need to make sure that this is below this, so layout below and ID will be the ID of the relative layout. I don't think we have assigned an ID to our relative layout, so quickly go ahead and add an ID, and we'll call this as I don't know, maybe faculty top. Okay, so faculty top, and below faculty top. So now you should see the card views below it. You need to have that space between each of the card views and also with the top. So go ahead and add a margin top to each one of them. So here just copy margin top, and I'm gonna add it to this card view. Alright, so if you see the design now, you have that spacing. 30 is a little too much, I guess, so I'm just gonna add it 10. Okay, so you have the little space, and if you see this design, it should be at the left, and even the phone number should be at the left. So here the title is at the center, so instead of that I'm just gonna pull it to the left. So to do that, instead of in the first text view, just remove the layout center horizontal, and it should be here, so no problems now. And you need to add a margin, so I'm gonna add in margin left and top, because we'll need to have some spacing there. So margin top, okay, and give it 10 dp, and next margin left and give it as 10 dp. Okay, so we do not want spacing between this and this, so that's why I've not given margin bottom. So we'll have the small spacing between the left and the right, and next we'll need to give spacing for this data as well. So that data is here, this text view. This text view is nothing but the line, guys, so nothing to do here, so you can just leave it alone. So here for this text view, you need to add margin you can just copy it from here. So margin top and left, and since this is the end of it, so you can add margin bottom and give it 10 dp as well, okay, because you need that small spacing at the bottom as well so that it look consistent on both the sides, okay. So we have you can actually go ahead and check the layout. So here this is how it will look. Now before we create two other card views, you need to change the IDs of some of the stuff here. So here the first one is nothing but your phone number, right? So I'm just going to call it as TV phone number and I'm going to change the title to phone number, give it a space as well, and I'll just remove this text size because the default text size will do, because this is nothing but an indicator saying that it's phone number. So the actual phone number should be having a big enough text size. So this is just like a label, so you can just give it the default text size, so that will do. And you can also remove bold, so don't need that. So since you have changed the ID, now you need to provide the same ID. So here instead of TV subject title, it will become TV phone number, and also instead of so this will remain the same, and this last one is nothing but the actual phone number itself. So we'll call this as phone number, and maybe we'll change this to phone number label, okay, that way it will make more sense. So here as well you need to make the change. Okay, now we can go ahead and check the design. So as you can see, if you can see it, okay, so we have the phone number, and then you have the line, and then you have the syllabus, okay, just as like this. But then here we have a spacing for the line, so I think the line is touching here, so we need to add the margin left for the margin left and right, I guess. I don't know what have I done. Yeah, so margin left and right. So margin left, you can give it 10 dp, and also margin right, give it as 10 dp. Alright, and check the design now, and everything looks aligned and perfect. We can actually have this text size to be bigger because this is just a label, and this is actually the information we're looking at. So making it bigger will make it seem better and put emphasis on it. So I'm just gonna make it 20. It's all your design choice, guys, so it doesn't really matter so much. So we have completed the first card view. Now you just need to go ahead and copy it and so now we need to just copy this card view. So copy this card view and we need to replicate it. Copy it, and I'm going to paste it here. So this card view, again it will be at the same position, so you can't see it actually. So you need to change this to you need to provide a different layout ID for the card view. So give it an ID, so card view 1 maybe, okay, can give that. And next here, so layout below, it will be card view 1, and instead of phone number label, it's email ID, right? So we'll call it as TV email label, and here you need to make that change as well. So TV email label, and the line you can just call it line 1, and here you need to make that same changes. So TV this will be email, okay. So now we can just go ahead and check the design. So if I just zoom out a bit, okay, So okay, we need to change this text as well. So we need to change the text at 2 places. So in the first card view, instead of syllabus, it's phone number, right? So just gonna, maybe I'll just add in some phone number, and then in this card view I'll add the, it is dheerajkamath22@gmail.com. so now we can check the design. Okay, my god, I've not changed the text for this. Okay, so change the text. Okay, so it's phone number, email, and again just replicate it, guys, as I told you. So just copy it now, copy the second card view, and can just paste it after that and do the corresponding changes. So instead of card view 1, card view 2, we need to add the same thing here. So sorry, not here, you need to add the ID for this second card view, call it as card view 2, and instead of email label it will be, so this is nothing but the staff room. So TV, I don't know, maybe place label, and instead of email it is staff room. It will be the text, and call it line 2, and instead of TV email label it becomes place label, and again instead of TV email it's TV place. So EC block, first floor, or whatever that is, you can just add it here. So now you can check the design, and we have completed the design. So if you want to add in more details, you can add that as well. Alright, and if you are adding more details and suppose it is extending out of this area, so it won't even be seen, right? So you need to implement a scroll view. So I'll just show you how you can do that. So I've just minimized this entire thing, and you can just add in the scroll view layout. So you can add the scroll view, and then inside this you just need to add the relative layout and it will work. Alright, so that is how you do it if you have more than one data. So as simple as that. So in case you get any errors, you can obviously put it in the comment section below and I'll help you out. No problems with that. Okay, so we have completed the design for this activity, and hopefully you remember all the different IDs that we have assigned. Okay guys, so this video has extended a lot, so I'll be covering the coding part in the next video of this series. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Also, do not forget to subscribe so that you do not miss out on my future videos. Also hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I release a new video. So thank you guys for watching. Until the next video, happy learning.